I almost scrolled past this listing. $55. Snake enclosure comes with snake. But when I clicked on it, something felt wrong. Paper towels for a floor. Dirt smeared on the glass. No heat, no hides, no substrate. And somewhere inside that mess, a living snake. I didn't know if it was venomous. I didn't know if it was healthy. But I knew one thing. If I didn't act fast, this snake's life was going to end in that tank. So I bought it. When I arrived to pick it up, the enclosure looked even worse in person. The glass was cloudy and scratched. The floor was nothing but crumpled paper towels and loose dirt. There were random decorations scattered around that made no sense for a snake. And somewhere inside, hidden under the mess, was the animal I came for. I loaded the tank into my car as carefully as I could. Every bump in the road felt dangerous. If the snake was stressed, if it was injured, or worse, if it was venomous. I didn't have much margin for error. I drove straight home, no stops, no delays. As soon as I got inside, the first thing I did was clear a workspace and prepare a temporary enclosure. Before I touched anything, I grabbed a snake hook. I wasn't taking risks. I slowly began removing the objects from the tank, one by one. A fake plant, a plastic hide, more paper towels. Then I saw movement. Just a glimpse. A curved pattern slipping beneath the paper. The snake was alive. Carefully, I lifted the last piece of paper towel, and there it was. The snake looked alert. Its body was full and muscular. No visible injuries. That was a good sign. Using the hook, I gently guided it into the temporary tank so I could finally get a proper look. Up close, the markings told a story. This wasn't a dangerous species. It wasn't venomous. This was a Kenyan sand boa, a species known for being calm, docile, and incredibly unique. Sand boas don't chase prey. They bury themselves beneath the substrate, leaving only their eyes exposed, waiting. Then they strike. This snake had been denied the one thing it evolved to do. No proper substrate, no space to burrow, no way to behave naturally. That changed today. I emptied the old enclosure completely. Everything went in the trash. Paper towels, old dirt, useless decorations. Then I scraped the glass clean, removing every bit of glue and residue until the tank was completely bare. This wasn't going to be a quick fix. This was a full transformation. I started with the background. Using spray foam, I built a textured wall that blended desert and forest elements, mimicking the environments this species naturally encounters. Once it cured, I coated it with sand and soil to give it a realistic, natural finish. Next came the foundation. Before adding any substrate, I built a proper drainage layer using clay balls and window screen. This prevents moisture buildup and mold, something that can be deadly in reptile enclosures. Then came the substrate itself. Despite the name sand boa, pure sand isn't ideal. Instead, I used a deep mix of cypress bedding and forest soil, soft enough to burrow, but stable enough to hold tunnels. I poured in several inches. This snake would finally be able to disappear beneath the surface. Decorations came next. Real wood, natural rocks, carefully placed hides. But I wasn't done. On one side of the enclosure, I built a massive artificial tree trunk using reclaimed wood, spray foam, and moss. It wasn't just decoration. It added vertical texture, humidity balance, and a sense of enclosure that helps snakes feel secure. On the opposite side, I built a rock cave, deep, dark, protected, a place where the snake could retreat completely out of sight. Then came the plants. Live plants, placed carefully to add coverage without blocking movement. More moss was scattered across the floor, breaking up empty spaces and creating microenvironments. Finally, the most important part, heat. I installed a basking lamp on one side and a UVB light alongside it. Under the lamp, temperatures reached a perfect 90 degrees. On the cool side, it stayed around 75. Exactly what this species needs. The transformation was complete. What was once a neglectful, dangerous enclosure was now a living slice of nature. It was time. I gently picked up the Kenyan sand boa and placed it into its new home. For a moment, it froze. Then it moved. Slowly at first. Then, with purpose, it slid directly into the substrate and vanished. Completely gone. Only a faint ripple in the dirt remained. This snake hadn't been able to do that in who knows how long. Now it was home. After giving it time to settle, it was time to feed. Kenyan sand boas are ambush predators. They don't chase, they wait. I started with a thawed mouse, placing it gently on the surface. Nothing happened. 10 minutes passed. Still nothing. I tried creating vibrations, gently moving the mouse across the substrate. Still nothing. Then I realized the problem. The prey was too large. I switched to a smaller mouse. The moment I wiggled it above the spot where the snake was buried, the ground exploded. The snake erupted from the substrate in a single, lightning-fast strike. The mouse disappeared. The snake immediately began constricting and swallowing, its jaws expanding impossibly wide. This was instinct. This was natural behavior. This was what had been missing from its life. I watched until the meal was finished and the snake slowly retreated back into the substrate. Satisfied, safe, at peace. This wasn't just a tank makeover. This was a rescue, a second chance. And now, this Kenyan sand boa finally has the home it always deserved.